one of the things you have to do to be a technologist is you have to be able to focus. And this is one of the many things that is listed in preparing mentally for the beginner boost for skill stack. But in general, in order to have a tech career, if you cannot focus, then you will fail. And there are a lot of things to discuss related to that, but I am going to try to just knock out the major ways that I personally have been able to focus, and you can find out how that works for you. The number one way to focus, and this is for learning, it's for executing on your job, it's for learning as well, so it kind of is a double thing. The number one way, of course, is to separate yourself from distractions. And this is easy to say, it's hard to do. What do I mean by distractions? I mean your family, your dogs. I mean, there's some people who like to, be right in the middle of everything. It could be, you know, sounds around you. I actually wear when I'm really into a session, I put earplugs in. I personally, this is me personally, I'll put earplugs in. I don't know if I have some sort of neurologically divergent thing going on with me, but I cannot have extra sounds when I'm really, really focusing on, um, breaking an algorithm down, particularly if if the code is complicated. So that's one of the ways to focus. Another thing, very oddly, I used to take my laptop to a very noisy pub or coffee shop, and the noisier the better because it would just all become white noise, and then I could just do my thing. Some people are like they really like clickety clack loud keyboards, and I cannot do a loud keyboard. I Loud keyboards really really distract me, and I'm unable to focus. Okay, so the first way is to remove distractions, whatever those distractions are for you. And sometimes that might mean waking up at a different time during the day and operating during that time. And that brings us to another part of being able to focus. So, over the years, I've learned that sleep is the number one thing to help my brain work. And I should probably make a video just about sleep, but that means taking naps, or sometimes I'll do like a biphasic sleep schedule, but whatever it takes to get refreshed. Because when you wake up, and you have yourself a cup of coffee, maybe if that's what helps you, then you can get focused on that. So those are some of the things like, when it comes to sleep, make sure you get sleep because when you're fresh and you're awake, you're going to be able to perform a lot better. And this idea that you need to just sleep, you should just power through, and sleep is for wimps or whatever, is totally non-scientific. And we know that our brains need sleep, and any professional will tell you that if you're not getting regular sleep, you are not performing. In fact, the biggest mistakes I've ever made on the job have been when I had not enough sleep. And then I would wake up and I was like, what the hell did I do? I had to take it back sometimes, when it was code related. But, if you're doing an operational thing, some of those like late night, we have to, save the planet kind of things, those those things a lot of times were bad. In fact, one time we had a guy fall asleep on a conference call, true story. We were on this bridge call, and one of the guys, it was something like 3 or 4 a.m., and he started snoring on the phone. And we were like, Kent, wake up. He's like, nobody could hear anything. Nobody could hear anything. He was just totally going up. And we're like, just hang the phone up and go take a nap. Because he was no good to us. In fact, he was distracting everybody else. So it is true that you can, maintain focus for a certain point by just pushing through or whatever. But for the most part, you're going to need some sleep. So remove distractions. Make sure you get enough sleep. Um, and sometimes, and then there's a question of music, right? So everybody knows that I'm a huge fan of music. I use music of all kinds. Some people I mean, whatever music works for you. I'm not here to judge what music it is, but that's, another way for you to maintain focus is to put the headphones on, or not, or just have ambient music around or really exciting music or, there is some science to suggest that mixing your music is better for your brain than keeping it all chill or all really intense. So if you, like in my Hacker Chill playlist, you'll see I'll have like a lot of chill music, and then I'll have like something that's like kind of fast every once in a while, and it will kind of wake me up and get me back in, and then I'll go back to the chill stuff. Yoga mantras and that kind of thing. So music is a big way to stay focused. Um, I don't. We could talk about all the different chemical ways to stay focused. Um, including Adderall. I've never done Adderall. I don't have any intention of doing it. I know a lot of hackers do Adderall. I know a lot of competitive programmers do Adderall. I know a lot of gamers do Adderall. Um, I still don't. Every time I even mention it, somebody comes up with a story in my community. They're like, "Oh my God, no, 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 no! You don't want to do that," because they've spent their life trying to detox and recover from addiction because of Adderall. So, my buddy who went to med school. He made it into med school, very good med school actually, and he never did cocaine or any of these things. Now, coffee, on the other hand, I do have quite a few copies. I don't talk about that, but so there are chemical ways for you to do that. There is actually something also I wanted to make a video about this probably by itself. It's called the Balmer Peak, and I had to be careful talking about it because somebody's going to inevitably abuse the idea. The Balmer Peak is this sort of pseudoscience idea that was invented by Steve Ballmer, Monkey Boy Ballmer, who was famous for getting really high on cocaine before he did the Monkey Boy Ballmer video, which we'll play another day. Developers, 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 and but at Microsoft, when he was there, he had this theory that if you were just a little bit drunk, but not all the way drunk, that could settle your brain down and allow you to focus. And I got to tell you straight up, it works. The problem is it's almost impossible to maintain because you have to have a certain level, and if you go past that level of drunkenness, you're yeah. If you go past that level of drunkenness, then you end up um, unable to function, right? And then if you're not there enough, just not quite enough. So be really careful with the Palmer Peak. There are a bunch of jokes related to the Palmer Peak, and I'll let you guys go find all those. So when it comes to chemical, induced changes to help you focus, again, I'm not here to judge you, but beware of those because they don't always come. I mean, coffee, for example, for me, it's been espresso. If I chug back a lot of the other coffee, I get a really acidic stomach, and it becomes painful and stuff. But espresso has the exact amount of like caffeine, and you can get it pretty quickly. It doesn't impact your day. You don't have to make a whole pot. And then, if you need another one, you can. The thing is, though, if you overdo caffeine, you'll know this. You drop. It drops you down. It drops you later on. Caffeine has been totally, totally scientifically vindicated to produce performance in endurance athletes. You can go watch the videos and look up the science on that. It has to be done 40 minutes before the event, though. People think that they're going to kick it at the end, and they take, a caffeine gel, and they don't get the results until way after they pass the finish line. So if you're going to do the chemical thing to help you focus, that's you're going to have to think about that on your own. Um, so those are all ways for you to consider how to improve your focus. Um, but I think that you'll find you're going to have your own ideas. If you want to share something that I may have missed in the chat, I do feel like I'm missing some of my methods uh, of finding focus myself, but maybe that's because I haven't had enough coffee. I don't know.